criminals who left the home to join ISIS Syria. Criminals will try to change their behavior. Terrorists will try to change their beliefs. In the either case scenario, both the criminal and the terrorist is not considered as a normal human being. The girls who left their home to join the ISIS family, who are now with no help from the ISIS, are they eligible to return to the normal living condition of our human culture? Or we consider them as a normal human being to get adopted to our society, or they be kept in such a suspicious list like they are once in that group, so should we trust or should we not trust? ISIS Brides, a network that led to the Islamic State, whereas who are all the possible ISIS bride recruits. So the one who are typically from the second generation and third generation migrants in all the European countries and foreign countries, or possible recruits by the Islamic State for the next generation proliferation. First generation, let's take Ahmed. So Ahmed, he migrated from Morocco to France in early 1970s for better working opportunity and better lifestyle. He faced a language barrier in France during his time. Also, he tried hard to adjust to the new culture at the initial stage, but he did it and also made a second generation possible. Second generation, Leela. So Leela, a daughter of first generation Ahmed, who speaks well both French and also the Moroccan, which is spoken in her home, and she tried to balance between both, balance both the native language and also the home language. She tried to bridge the gap between both, like a second generation between the first and the third generation. Third generation, Leela's son, Adam. So Adam, who's the son of Leela, grandson of Ahmed. So he is completely fluent with French, but as he is third generation away from Morocco, but still, even though he is not with a good Moroccan cultural upbringing, he has his roots in Morocco. He has that in his mind, so that even though he fully participate in the French culture with his French people, consider himself as a French citizen, but deep inside his mind he is going to have things like, I am facing discrimination simply because I am from the Moroccan third generation, and also the cultural belonging is somehow different because of my family upbringing and the societal upbringing, which can affect his sense of identity at the end of the day. Context of radicalization, where the ISIS members use the brainwashing technique and whom do they use these techniques. So for the case here in Adam, as he is strongly disconnected from his cultural heritage of Morocco and societal heritage of France, anytime soon if riot happens in France stating things like the Moroccan Muslims, or it's just for an imaginary purpose, if the Moroccan Muslims are still not considered as a primary citizens of France, in such instance what Adam will feel a strong disconnect and think like, I am still discriminated in the society, even though I am living here, my family is living here in France for more than 70-80 years, still I am feeling such disconnect, still I am feeling alienated, I am not able to gel into the society, no French people are going to accept me as I am, as completely as I am. So this such one thing called as vulnerability of radicalization. In such instance, if he faces all those things in his mind, things like marginalized and isolated, alienated, these are all the specific things, these are all the specific insecurity criteria that the ISIS member is looking for. So they will simply pick these members and they will target these members by promises like come and join us so that we can give you the identity that you are lacking and longing for. ISIS propaganda. Adam, as of now, he is feeling alienated, he is he's thinking like I'm out of the group, they are not allowing me to gel in with the French people. So he will just surf in through the social media and see things related to supporting Moroccan Muslims, and getting a resentment and anger toward the French government. And that such instance, the social media activities are properly properly triggered by these ISIS members community, so that they will they will use the propaganda video, like the video where the Muslim women's and Muslim children's are beaten and thrown. Maybe that is all our setup, just a setup to make the opposite person believe. So they make all those setup videos and try to just distribute it to all the suspect and targets. And also this propaganda will, if Adam sees these in the social media, he will think like he will become agitated, and he will think like how dare they, okay, from now on this is going to be us, that is the Moroccan Muslims versus the French government. And then such impact is going to be, as he is vulnerable and marginalized, the radicalization is going to be very simple on him. And Adam finds this argument, as they have beaten our Moroccan Muslim women and the children, I am going to stand against the French people so that I can build my community now. So this is just a convincing radicalization on the vulnerable individual. Who are the women who left their home to join the ISIS Caliphate? So why their home country are now not allowing them to reintegrate into the society to live as a normal human being? Why the government is still suspecting them that they are still having the connection with the ISIS member, or still they have not known that what an extreme thing that they have caused to their loving nation. They are now considered as a primary suspect, so that they are going to ruin the country's peace. As discussed in the video, these women are very lonely in their life, not only the younger women but also the deposees, the women who married off their children and also are now living in the bachelorette life, thinking things like I'm very lonely, I need someone to talk to, who are thinking things like a young woman who's always dreaming about getting married, or all those primary targets for such radicalization. And also the women who view the charmingness, I don't know how charming these fighters are, but who view these fighters as charming or primary target. And also they use the brainwashing statements, who are very vulnerable to fall for the statements, things like come to where you belong, come to where you are completely loved, do not stay in the place you are tolerated, come to where you are loved. So such love bombing statements. And also people who feel outside in the community, as I discussed like in Adam. One such terrific headline that made news, like Shamima Begum from UK and Hoda Mutana from US, made worldwide headlines when they left home as a teenagers to join ISIS in Syria. So these such girls were who cannot distinguish between the fake news and the true news in the social media or in the media circle or from the news outlet journalists. Even the journalists are not speaking truth anymore. Okay, so you need to be completely logical to analyze what is true and what is false. You are having your own brain, but you should use that at any time to safeguard yourself. But these women who are the target are never going to use their brain, who are always having such fantasies of marrying the marrying the terrorist especially, and are very susceptible to the grouping culture, where one such friend, if she joins in the ISIS member community, she can easily spread such propaganda to all her friend circle, so that it would become easy for her to make all the other girls join in. Because you know what, if there are a 5-member group, only one person is going to influence all the 4 of them, because if you are already in the group, there is going to be manipulation that is coming into play, and that technique is exactly going to be used by one such girl, and that is what is used in the case of Shamima Begum. So where these girls are brainwashed, coached through the online sessions, asking them to make as many people as possible to join this group, and also target the people especially who have fantasies like holding the gun, because they all such videos are circulated in those things, no? These are the primary suspects who can never ever be trusted in the first place if they are not vulnerable in the first place. How ISIS network is growing that time. So one such important thing is online network. Online network is going to spread very fastly than the offline sources. So how they make such things? Who are vulnerable, as I said, who idealize men, who ask for validation from men, asking validations like I have put all such makeups in my face, but that boy has not said one word about me today. Why that handsome is not looking at me now? So things like these girls are earning for the male validation. So if they fall prey to the ISIS member online, what they tell these girls is bring some cash to me, I'll marry you as soon as possible. You know what, you are born as a woman, so try to become pregnant as soon as possible and enjoy your life with me. Okay, come to me, I love you like no one ever did to you, not even your parents. So they will brainwash them, saying all these things, and ask them to bring the money from their home, have some what you call suicide belt with you. If they find you in the airport, try to build that up, so try to escape the security officials, and also bring some handguns with you. And also these young minds, if they hear such false stories at the age of 16, 17 up to 20, 22, they'll think like oh, what am I dealing with, what is this guy uttering to me? They won't think like this. They will simply think like how sweet, he is looking very beautiful, I can do this for him, at least he accepted me for who as I am. My parents itself are not accepting me, they are just forcing me to study, to be very disciplined. No, this person is loving me like a Disney princess and prince story. So these such fantasies that they have. They will also be told about the false stories and false videos being bombed in Syria, children's crying simply because of the government's inactiveness, and also stating like, where are the Muslims to help us and stand by us now? Come and unite with us to fight this war against the world. And many social media IDs are just starting with especially hashtag UMMNAME, name. So name hashtag. So these are, if you find these IDs, those are all the recruit IDs. Men as a DP, women is nothing but a mother, I think. They just ask the young girls to think like you should die for a cause. Okay, you are here in the world, you should fight and die for a cause. Simply living in the country where you are oppressed, that is not life for you. Come here and save the caliphate and die for the honor of a good Muslim. So these such things are manipulative and brainwashing tactic that they use among the young girls through this ID. And also when they reach Syria, they will be kept in the madrasas, madafas, which is very dirty, very closed. The doors are extremely closed. They will be given any ISIS fighter to marry and to get pregnant as soon as possible. Aftermath life of these ISIS brides, what they do, as I said, as soon as they enter into the Syria, they will get married to the ISIS soldier. Next minute, what is their duty? They need to get pregnant as soon as possible to get the new generation fighters to society. And these new generations are also malnutrition, have mnemonic conditions, they're extremely starved, because under such war conditions they are not going to get good healthy foods. So they are videos stating some children's eating grass to avoid starvation. And also most of these ladies try to remarry, or the last resort, what they do if everything else fails, they will return to their homeland asking things like, okay, As I was here once, the government will accept me if I behave normally, act normally, and make a dramatic sense like now I have changed, the country should accept me. So, how come the government can trust these people? Last point of this video, should these women be accepted by the government? No. Public safety over any individual. Government cannot make their citizens security simply because of one leftover person who is going to be the threat for this nation's security. Women who are kidnapped can be the exception because it has happened not according to their will but against their will. But the one who went voluntarily to another nation to involve in the criminal activities should be considered as a threat to the nation and should never be reintegrated in the society.